So hi, welcome to the Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with
Greg from Flycatcher.
And we have some questions today about the upcoming EP Stunt. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to the announcement so far?
It's been pretty sweet. I mean, it's our first time signing with a label, so it's pretty cool to be able to sort of claim that and sort of like, you know, it's a new kind of hype that we haven't had before. So it's been really nice. Everybody's been super cool about it. And I think everything's going well, so I can't complain.
Oh yeah, it's a great signing. I mean, Will Yip and Memory Music, they don't sign a lot of bands over there, so it's awesome that they picked up on you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a very like fortunate meeting. Like our music got to him through some back channels, and like we didn't like solicit anything, so it was really nice to sort of have it all happen organically.
Yeah.
Because we weren't really like necessarily looking for a label, but when Will Yip and his team come knocking, you got to answer the call.
You don't say no to that.
Yeah, and he's such a good dude. He really is. He's proved himself time and time again, especially recently. He's had some really big successes under his belt. So it's like it's too good to pass up, and like we're all such big fans of his. Like some of the records he's worked on are, obviously like so formative to all of us in the band. So they're like, even just to hang out with him, and even for the fact of him being like, yo, I like your shit, like that's enough to like make my life,
And then he puts your shit out and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's dope. It's really cool.
But the EP is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard a lot about your band because I manage Late Waves, and obviously you guys are good friends. So
hell yeah.
It was awesome when Jamie came in the inbox and was like, I got this new shit, and I was like, this shit's awesome, and I've heard a lot about them. So,
dude,
awesome.
I love Late Waves. I booked them at a basement in New Brunswick in like 2018 or something. It was like the first time I was just like looking for bands to come like play in New Brunswick, and I realized they were from Asbury Park, and I hit them up because I was like, whatever, like we'll see what happens. And they said yes. Howie responded to my Facebook message, and then they showed up, and I think they were all like, what are all these college kids doing? Because obviously they're a little bit older than us.
Yeah.
And they were such a good hang, and I was like, I gotta hang out with these guys more. And now like we're all really good friends. I see them all the time. It's great.
They're great people. I'm upset that I missed your show that they opened for at House. I wound up seeing Panic at the Disco in Philly instead. Don't boo me, but
Fucking shit. That's a shit trade.
I mean, listen, it's over.
Oh my God.
Panic at the Disco's done.
Yep,
Thank
they're
God.
gone.
Put to rest.
Was that the only time you ever seen them?
Yeah, I kind of like, I saw the writing on the wall with the band, and they were like what got me to where I am today. So I was like, I have to see them at some point, and
That's fair.
The writing was on the wall with that new record. So I was like, I'll just fuck it, go see them.
The writing was on the wall with everything being like out of his vocal range.
Yeah.
Yes.
That shit was crazy.
It was awful. Dog shit, man. But your EP was amazing, though. So
We're going to talk about that. We could talk about how bad Viva Las Vengeance was all day.
Exactly. Oh my goodness.
Oh, just the name. Rachel's been called. But I'm glad you think my EP is better than that.
Oh my God. Yes.
The bar was in hell, my friend.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
right?
Yes.
That's funny.
So speaking of your EP, is there any meaning behind the EP title or cover art?
Yeah, so the title for it is a lyric from one of the songs, Sodas in the Freezer, that has been out for almost a year. The single sort of came about, like, we didn't really know we were going to do an EP or not, and then now the singles are part of the EP. But yeah, in the chorus, I say, I'll be your greatest stunt. And I really just like the term stunt sort of as it sort of gives you like an Evel Knievel vibe, but also like very much just like, I don't know, like acting up, like acting out, like it's showy, it's kind of loud. So I was like, you know what, the word stunt is cool, it's simple, let's just roll with that, because I don't want to like overcomplicate it with like the tough thing is like you don't want to give stuff you don't want to name it after a name of one of the songs, because then it makes everybody think that like, oh, this must be the song that I need to listen to, and it's like, no, like I want you to hear all the songs. So like I just took a line instead, and that seemed to be easier.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Your anti-title track. That's crazy. I've never heard that before.
I mean, I like title tracks, but I think maybe for a record, we've never done a title track though, for any of our stuff. So I'm wondering if that's just something we'll never do, or I feel like it's got to feel right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So could you tell us a little bit about your writing process for this EP?
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, this one goes back pretty far because a lot these are basically all of the songs like pre-COVID and post-COVID. So like 2019, we dropped a record in the summertime, and then obviously COVID happened like, I don't know, 6 months later or something, 7 months later. So between that time, I was working on some new stuff. We were playing some shows. It wasn't anything like we were married to, and then shows stopped, COVID hit, and then we were like, oh shit, like what are we gonna do? So we went back to the drawing board, like sort of as a band, because we were a 3-piece at that point. And then we sort of just like, we're like, I don't know, let's just take some time off and just figure out what we're gonna do. And then I had a couple song ideas, but instead of just like bring them to the band immediately, I really spent the time and like went line by line, syllable by syllable, and was like, why, like, these are fine. But then I was like listening back to some of my old songs. I was like, oh, like there's some things I could do that there's some things I could do better that I'm not doing. And I don't know if I'm doing it out of laziness or out of, I don't know. So I was like, let's just see what happens if I'm really methodical about it. And that's what I did. So I was just like really regimented with how I came into things. I would write, and then I would sit down for hours and like dissect what I just wrote. And so that's how Games came to be, which is the first single that came out in 2021. Which is funny. Now we're in 2023 and it's going to be on the EP, but it's cool. But that song was like a starting point because we released it. I didn't have anything else written yet after we released it. So it was kind of cool to like put that out and then be like, oh, okay, like this worked. Like the concept of how I'm writing and stuff. And that's not to say it works for everybody. It's just how it worked for me. And yeah, it just felt so good and validating to like write a song in that way and then be like, okay, people like this. I like this. We all can agree that this is better than what we were doing before. So now let me just do this with everything. And so I made 5 more songs, just like fleshed out as much as I could on acoustic guitar, bring them to the guys, worked on them at band practice. And then the crucial final step was to bring everything to our producer, Connor Hansen, who's based out of, he's based out of Toms River, New Jersey currently, but he will be based out of Neptune soon.
I didn't know he was moving.
Yeah, he's moving. He's setting up his new studio in Neptune. I'm leaking that information right now.
No.
Sorry, Connor. But Connor's a really good friend of mine. I used to like intern for him. Like I interned at a studio and he worked there, so like I was like his intern. So we were just like hang out all the time. Ended up becoming really good friends, and so I brought him these songs, and we just really loved how he produced everything. So I was like, okay, let's do it this way, and it was perfect because I had come up with something that I thought was fleshed out, and it was, and then the band thought it was fleshed out, and then like we bring it to him, and then we'd like do some last minute like switching things around, and then it would feel like so alive, and like now I can still listen to the songs and not get sick of them, which is really something new for me because I don't think I've always felt that way. So hopefully that explains it.
That does. And it's like he's a great producer, but he works with a lot of like popular stuff. So it's crazy to me that like the songs come out as good as they do. And like that doesn't seem like that's really necessarily his strong suit per se.
Yeah, it's funny. I think it's more so that like we have such a good rapport, like him and I, like we know each other really well. We're very good friends outside of music. Like we just hang out and talk shit about anything. It's not all about music all the time, which is nice. But yeah, I think I have a very strong sense of what I want to do, and the band has a very strong sense of what they want to do. And like, so when we all come together, the vision sort of is already there. So Connor was really instrumental in sort of like just elevating it and highlighting it instead of having to build something from the ground up.
That makes sense.
So like I think like our strength was like giving him a really good foundation and like giving him a really tight instrumental, and then it was all about just like, okay, sweet, the bass line's here, the guitar riff's here, the vocals are here, the drums are here, let's just get the sickest sounds possible
Mhm.
so that it just sounds hype. And that's where the pop stuff comes in handy, because he knows how to get really, really big drum sounds and really low bass and stuff. So it's nice because like then our shit can match up to something poppy. Because I don't like records that don't have the low end and all that stuff, you know. Because I also do engineering and stuff, and it drives me nuts when something like doesn't have like when I can't hear the bass and I'm like, turn up the bass.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right.
Perfect. So I want you to tell us your favorite lyric off this EP and what it means to you.
Always Selfish has some good ones. I like some of the lines in Always Selfish, like, and Games too. Actually I think the sodas in the freezer lines, shit, I'm gonna forget what they are, but I like keep picking fights and no one listens, running out of guts to spill. I really like those lines, like opening up sodas in the freezer. It's more storytelling ish than I'm used to, and it felt like a different kind of songwriting than I've ever done before. And I know it's still just lyrics, but like to me, it felt like something different than what I'm used to making, and it really like it made me comfortable with like, I don't know, just like saying something different, saying something else sort of out of the ordinary that I would say. And it was also me sort of coming from like, instead of a place of like, oh, this is one for one, like me in real life, it was like, oh, this is like a caricature of how I see myself when I'm at my worst. So it's like, it feels a little bit more conceptual and a little bit more freeing, because then I'm like, oh, I'm not actually, it's not just me, it's not Greg writing like the lyric here, it's like this weird version, upside down version of Greg that like isn't actually real, so I can kind of like say whatever I want, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. All right.
That's cool. Yeah.
So I really like those lyrics, yeah, but I like all of them. I'm fond of all of them.
I would hope
That's
you
good.
like the lyrics you wrote.
Right.
I mean, call me back in like 2 years and we'll see, but for now I like them.
That's good. So where was your headspace at while you're writing this EP?
Well, so for the first bit, it was very much isolation. I was very isolated. I wasn't very confident in it, but like I said, once Games came out and once I saw the reception, I was very pleased with it, and sort of figured I would just like, I had a confidence boost, so there was definitely like a lot of like newfound excitement in the new stuff. But then I started a new job, and so I was commuting a lot. So it was a very interesting headspace for me, because I was very busy all the time, but it made me feel like I was like productive. Not to be like grind culture, because like I don't fuck with that, but like like I was like going to work 9 to 5 every single day, but I was driving the car like an hour and a half each direction. So like,
God damn.
yeah, it was brutal. So
Ooh.
in that time, now I live much closer now. It's only a 30-minute commute for me, so it's chill.
Good. Oh my God.
But I was living at my parents' house still, and so when I was doing that, I didn't have time to play guitar when I came home. I didn't have time to write lyrics when I came home. I was so tired. I just want to go to sleep. So in the car, I would record one voice memo of like the acoustic guitar part, and then I would just play it over and over again in my car, and I would make up lyrics. And like that headspace, like it was very weird, because it like it would feel like confined almost, like you would think that, but like I felt very liberated in the fact of like, oh, I'm like reclaiming my time, because like you feel like you're being robbed, right, when you're like driving like that and stuff. It's like it kind of sucks. But like for me, I felt like I was like, I'm taking back, I have the power, I'm like owning my own existence, even though this sucks and I hate this. So like that headspace for me, it was more it wasn't like revenge, but it was like what's the word, I don't even know, like just like making the most of a shittier situation, and then coming out on top, or at least feeling like you came out on top. And it's validating to be like, oh shit, I wrote a bunch of songs, and then like Will Yip hit me up and really likes it, and like I was in the car when I was writing these lyrics, and like it sucks that I have to work a day job, but you know what? Like I fucking did it, and like I got it done, and that's like what matters. So it was like the mindset was like a chip on my shoulder kind of thing. Yeah, I think that's like the best way to put it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this EP for the first time? Should they play it in the car with friends, dark with headphones off? on? Should they blast at a party, work out to it? What do you personally recommend?
Number one, I think loud. I think these songs deserve to be played loudly, and I think they sound better when they're loud. Um, I think like in a car, this is music like for a car ride. I think I remember writing games specifically and thinking that that was like a car song, and it was funny at the ending part. I was like, there's like this riff that comes in, and I'm like, this would be in a fucking Ford commercial. Like, this is like
Ford
like,
F-150 rock
Ford?
over
yeah,
here.
literally.
No!
Like, if you listen to it like in the right without the vocals, there's like a clip in there that you're like, this could totally be in like a Ford commercial from like 2012.
This doesn't strike me as that. Like the new Nickelback album is Ford F-150 rock.
That
This is
Ford
not.
F-150. No.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you guys feel that way. But like in my head, I was like, damn, this is car music. It was kind of funny. Because also I wrote that song particularly is like from the perspective of like being in the car and like driving to a place.
Yeah.
Like we were driving to Buffalo, and I wrote those. Like I didn't write them there, but it's reflecting back on that, so it feels very vehicular to me. If that makes sense. So yeah, I think in the car, really loud.
All right. I do think it's ironic that you say that this should be listened to in the car, since it sounds like you wrote somewhat of the CP in the car. So full circle moment there.
I didn't even think about that.
And then
but
you're writing
right.
songs about being in the car. It's like this whole fucking
It's just a car record.
yeah.
Right.
So this question should be super, super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe this out. EP for new listeners in 3 words, no more, no less.
Colorful, loud. I don't know. I guess like confessional.
Okay.
Like sort of like as a different angle to that. Like, and it can't all be fun, right? Like, I think there's some serious stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want this EP to invoke in your listeners?
I don't really think of like achieving the. I kind of. This is a very strange way to put it, but when I like listened to music when I was especially in like high school or like middle school, because I didn't play music until I was like a senior in high school. Like I didn't know how to play like guitar or anything. So I didn't listen to music through that lens. I listened to music through the lens of like, oh, this is just fun and it's just, or like, this is just good and I like it. I like the whole and I can sink my teeth into it. Do you know when you like something so much, you feel like you can grab it?
Yeah.
But it's like this is going to sound really weird, but like, remember, did you guys ever play like baseball or softball growing up or anything?
Yeah.
I
or, like,
swam.
Or, swimming or like anything, any sport. Did you have a teammate that was really good? And when you watch them perform, it was always like a treat. And you'd watch them go and you'd be like, they're so fast. They're so strong. They could hit the... And it's just like a guaranteed win, like in your head, right? And you're like, I got so much confidence in that person and I love it and I love them and this is great. Like, that's how I felt a lot when I was younger, listening to songs. And I didn't know why I felt that way. But now as I got older, I realized it's because of the things that are colorful and loud and exciting. Like I remember listening to Californication by the Red Hot Chili Peppers for the first time. My dad always had that as a CD in the car. And it was so chunky and fat. But there's only like 4 tracks. There's like guitars, bass, and drums. There's no like production on that. But it's super hype. And I wanted to get back to that feeling. So I think for me, if the audience can feel that towards our stuff, like sort of like sink your teeth into it. Like it's just like a big glob of sound that's just like satisfying for people. Like that's what I just want it to be satisfying. I want people to really like just grab onto it and be like, oh, like I could just put this on and it just makes my head like buzz. Like it makes me feel good. This satisfies my ears, you know?
That makes
like
sense.
it doesn't need to be an intellectual pursuit or anything. It just needs to feel good to listen to.
Makes sense.
I love that.
Sorry for that tangent.
That's
You're good. That was awesome.
So what is your favorite memory that you made while creating the CP?
Oh man. I'm trying to think. So I mean a lot of the memories of just recording in the studio was a lot of fun with Connor and the rest of the band. We had a lot of laughs. I Think You Should Leave, you know that show? Do you know
I think you should. I've heard of it. Yeah.
Tim Robinson show.
Mm-hmm.
So that show, this is gonna sound really annoying, but that show is just like was a big like season 2 came out like when we were recording all this stuff, and like we were just quoting it a ton. It was just like really obnoxious, and it became like this stupid thing. And then I don't know, like our little quick check, or no, it was Wawa actually. The Wawa trips we would take when we were recording because Connor lives in Tom's River, so we'd like pop down there and we'd get like whatever disgusting sandwich from Wawa and bring it back, and then we'd all like yell at each other for getting something gross. Like that kind of stuff was always fun. Like our drummer Connor gets these chips. I think they're like lime jalapeno from like Ruffles. They're really good.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Whew,
but they're Anthony Davis.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Is on the bag. They have like a LeBron one too, and a bunch of other players. But we started this bit with like the Anthony Davis chips. And so we just go like, but only this Wawa has the Anthony Davis chips. Like Connor can't seem to find them anywhere else. My drummer's name is Connor, by the way.
Yeah.
So it's kind of confusing with the producer Connor and drummer Connor. But producer Connor thought that this was hilarious, as we all did. And so now every time anything comes up, we talk about the Anthony Davis chips, and the Connor's always on like going to Walmart and like trying to find them, and he can't find them, and it's really funny. So we've got some like really good bits. A lot of them have to do with food, honestly, but those always make me laugh. I like to go back on those.
Fair enough. It's funny that you bring up the Wawa thing and the disgusting things at Wawa, because we interviewed someone a few hours ago, and I'm just so hung up on it.
Right.
They got a fucking buffalo chicken mac and cheese panini.
What? I didn't know you could get mac and cheese on there.
It's ridiculous. It's a mystery.
Yeah, that's like 2 or 3 different food items that they just like threw on a sandwich.
Exactly.
And for what? They just get that for fun? Or
they were just at the recording studio too. No, they were on tour, and they're just like, worst. My band is like, let's just get the worst shit we can at Wawa, and they're like, this is what I wound up with last night.
I just know that van smells crazy.
Exactly.
That's
oh my
gotta be wild, yo.
Speaking of awful things from Wawa, my partner got a tuna salad sandwich, but had them toast the entire sandwich with the tuna salad on it.
Hot tuna.
That was one of the worst things I've ever smelled in my entire life. I told them, you are never getting tuna salad cooked, uncooked, not toasted. You're never getting that shit and bringing it in my car again. I had to crack the fucking windows, bro, in my car. We were eating it in the Wawa parking lot. We were probably going to a show or something. I was like, you're never getting that again. Disgusting.
Dude, big ups to your partner. I like that they just did that shit.
It's disgusting, bro.
Typically
they get the buffalo chicken quesadilla. It's fine. It doesn't smell bad. That was fucking awful.
That's very funny. That is very funny.
God.
Goddamn. Yeah, there's you can get some gross shit. Our bassist got like, because me and Connor are like, I eat fish, but I don't eat meat. And Connor Hansen is vegetarian. So we go, when we're recording, we go to Chipotle, get some Chipotle thing, because that's the only thing in Tom's River that you can get that's like vegetarian, other than pizza. So we go there, and then the other guys go to Wawa, and then we meet back up at his house. And one time, our bassist Jack got like a cheesesteak from Wawa, but it was just like, it was one of those cheesesteaks where you just like open it up and it's just like swimming, like it's just like, you know what I mean? Like it was just like. It was just like not cool.
Just toss it.
It was really funny because we all just like, we ate like our like little like beans and rice, and then
he's
here
complaining
he comes
in the corner.
with this like gnarly sandwich. It was really funny. We gave him shit for that one.
Good.
It's funny. There's so many gnarly things you could get from Wawa.
Absolutely.
And even the consistency in like their good items varies greatly, because I'm a vegan, so I only get the veggie sandwich, and even that they'll fuck it up sometimes. Like sometimes the tomatoes are just like mush, and I'm like, how'd you fuck this up? Or the cucumbers taste weird. So it's across the board a gamble every single time you go.
Oh no, yeah, it's no shame against people eating meat or not eating meat. It's just like the Wawa, like that's just the motto. But I honestly love Wawa. I can't. I'm not hating on Wawa. I'm just expressing the the joy that it brings all of us when they give you some rank shit.
Personally, I've had more success at Quick Check.
That's fair. That's fair.
They put
I
in a-
grew up in a Quick Check town.
Yeah, I've one
In
like
Wawa?
literally right across the street from my house.
Sweet. Yeah,
Except in my backyard.
listen, smoke them if you got them. It's
Yeah.
right there. You got to use it.
Yeah.
So on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be and why?
Oh my god. The guys are going to kill me if I don't say this. But it doesn't make any sense, but it's going to be funny. Shrimp scampi. That's it. That's just that's another running joke of ours.
Okay.
We love to make jokes about shrimp scampi and seafood. It's just very funny to us for some reason.
Okay.
We do we have a version of always selfish, but it's always shellfish. I don't know.
Okay.
It's fun. It's fun. I forget why. I forget why that started. I think it's our bassist Jack just like really leaned into it. Just like sort of like jokes revolving around shrimp. Because like shrimp are like an inherently funny thing. I think like if you think about shrimp and like prawns enough, like you'll start to crack yourself up. And then so we just started talking about like, oh yeah, sorry, like I left a Tupperware in the car. It's got a bunch of shrimp scampi. Let me just go get it. And it's like heating up in the car for it's gross.
Whoa.
Like
Yeah.
it's just like you think about like doing like something irresponsible or something stupid with like a shrimp scampi.
Disgusting.
All right.
All right.
Makes sense. They're like leaving it around and be like, oh, I left shrimp scampi in my car for a few days
Yeah,
ago.
you just carry
fucking
shrimp scampi
disgusting.
everywhere you go.
Yeah, oh, I think I got some in my pocket right here. Like that, exactly.
So for the last couple of questions, we're going to shift completely away from music and go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
For me, I feel like I had a good answer to this a few days ago. Like I feel like I was thinking about this. Shit.
You just think about these things?
Right.
Yeah, I was talking to my girlfriend about it. There's something that like I just ate recently that I was like, damn, I would just eat this until the day I die, and I don't remember what it is. I don't know. I love, right now it'd probably be like really fucking good sushi rolls. I love sushi, so I get some really good sushi rolls, and then like just a regular Coke. I think that would be a good drink. I just like Coke. I don't drink it a lot, but when I do, it's a treat.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think just like some really good sushi rolls, like I don't know, like any kind, just like anything super fresh. Or Brussels sprouts with something else. I love Brussels sprouts. I don't know.
Brussels sprouts are bomb.
I'm just thinking of just like good food that I like to eat. Maybe like a salmon bowl or something. Like a salmon bowl with like, and then a side of Brussels sprouts.
Oh. With a Coke? That's good. Yeah.
Look, that's very like, it's very boring, but
It's good.
I don't know. Like, what
It
answers do you
warms the
usually
heart,
get on
man.
this question like this?
We get a lot of shit. Like, I think the weirdest one was, did we get like sand one time? I don't know.
One time, another time, someone told us they wanted a cop's heart.
Cop's heart. Yeah.
That was a while ago too, and that one still sticks out.
It's still with us. Yeah.
Holy shit.
But then you'll get people that are like, "Why are you asking me this?" And just be like, "I'll take pizza and a soda." So
Yeah, I mean, pizza and a soda's fair, but
we'll game it.
Yeah.
What about you guys? What's your death row meals? I feel like you guys ask this every week. You gotta know.
Yeah, a big bowl of spaghetti, marinara, and a Sprite cranberry. And lately, I've been on an apple juice kick, so I'll take an apple juice in the box as well.
I was on some apple juice kicks in like high school, but I know the feeling. Like I would like come back to it and be like, "Damn, this is good."
Yeah, it hits especially hard in the little juice boxes. Yeah, they've been on sale at Target. I've been buying the shit out of those.
All right, I see you. I see you.
Yeah.
It's fucking, he's always with an apple juice, man. This guy.
He's strapped.
He really is. Okay. God, it keeps changing. My old answer used to be Thai basil tofu with a taro boba tea because that was like my favorite meal a while back. But I don't know anymore. Oh, oxtail. I'll take oxtail stew with yams and mashed potatoes. Not mashed potatoes, mac and cheese. Sorry, my brain kind of glitched for a second.
Nice.
And I don't know, pomegranate juice.
Pomegranate juice.
What about an apple juice, Glory?
Love it. You know what? I'll take an apple juice too.
Fuck yeah.
Take a nice apple juice. I think that'll pair really well.
It should. It should. So if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
Oh, without a doubt, Adventure Time.
Oh,
I'm a huge Adventure Time fan. I love or I guess the land of Ooh, technically, because that's what it is. But yeah, I fucking love Adventure Time. It's like my comfort show. Like I just turn it on when I have when I don't have time to watch anything and engage with it. I just turn it on, and then I find myself repeating all of the lines because I know all the words to the episodes already. I freaking love that show. It's so much fun.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So I have not asking the last question, and every single person that we've spoken to have said that it is the most important question. What's your favorite color?
Oh my god. This is one of those questions I used to have an answer to, and I don't necessarily have one now. I mean, I do have one, but I have a couple.
Okay.
But so I really like deep navy blue, but not in a typical New York Yankees navy blue. I don't know how to describe it, but there's a certain it's got to have a little gray to it. It's got to have even a little bit of indigo to it, but that kind of blue I really like. And I also really like a really washed out orange.
Yeah.
So those are my two that I kind of go between of really liking, but I'm trying to think if there's a color I don't like.
Oh,
I kind of like all the colors.
We need to add that question. What's your least favorite color?
What's your least favorite color? I don't know. I like a lot of colors, man. It's funny. Growing up, I feel like you're told that you have to like colors and dislike other ones, but now I'm like, hey, man, if they're in the right context, they're all good.
Yeah.
So, I'm a lover of all colors.
All right.
Hell yeah.
But those two that I mentioned before specifically are better.
Okay.
Perfect.
Sounds good. So as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Just the EP coming out April 4th. I guess follow Flycatcher on all the socials, wherever you like to follow people. We'd love to have you in the audience. We've got some gigs coming up. We've got a little weekend run with Carpool from Rochester. We're doing Brooklyn on March 30th at Brooklyn Made. That's going to be a really big show. It's going to be our EP release, so it would be awesome to see some heads out there. We're going to be doing, I think it's Cambridge technically. I mean, it's Boston, but it's a Boston gig. We're playing that the next day on the 31st with Carpool, and then we are playing at Bug Jar in Rochester on April 1st, which is not an April Fool's joke. We will be there.
All right.
We're not lying. And yeah, so that's what we got going on. Oh, we're also playing House of Independence, New Jersey with Hodera and a boy named John on April 15th. So that's all we have on the schedule right now. So we've got the EP, pre-order it, go do all that stuff, and then come to a show. And that's that.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for now. It's been Greg from Flycatcher, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.